Welcome to Know Your DNA's podcast, where we journey into the intricate landscape of DNA, health, and the innovations of at-home care. Every episode promises new discoveries, insights, and the science that impacts our daily lives. I'm Alex, and I'm thrilled to guide you through today's exploration. Let's get started. Welcome, everyone. You're tuning in to Know Your DNA's podcast, where we uncover the secrets behind DNA and share insights about how it actually impacts our health and lives. Now, most of you might be familiar with companies like 23andMe, Ancestry, or perhaps Living DNA that provide detailed DNA test results. These results can often be overwhelming to process, but don't fret. We have with us today Dr. Jordan, our resident expert in genetics, to help us understand what we can do with our raw DNA data. Welcome, Jordan.
Thanks for having me, Alex. It's always exciting to talk about DNA, and I hope our listeners will find this information helpful.
So let's get started. Jordan, can you briefly explain what raw DNA data is?
Absolutely, Alex. When you take a DNA test, the results that you can download typically consist of your raw DNA data. This data can be opened on any device, saved for future use, and is unique to every individual. However, interpreting it can be quite challenging, which is where third-party interpretation services come in.
Oh, I see. And what can we find in our raw DNA file?
Well, it depends on the kind of DNA test you take. There are three kinds of raw DNA data: autosomal, mitochondrial, or mtDNA, and Y-Chromosome DNA, known as Y-DNA. They all are identified with a combination of letters and numbers in your file and uniquely arranged based on your genetic makeup.
Fascinating. So why should we download raw DNA data? What can we do with it?
Great question, Alex. Once you download your raw DNA data, you can upload it to different genetic testing companies to learn more about your ancestry and health risks. And importantly, if you're concerned about data breaches, you can delete your raw DNA data after you've downloaded it.
Well, that sounds convenient. Now, let's talk about how to interpret raw DNA data. Do you have any tips for us, Jordan?
Definitely. The first thing people often do is search DNA sequence databases, which are searchable and can provide granular specifics about your DNA. Secondly, it's beneficial to consult a genetic professional who can diagnose any genetic disorders and provide counseling. Lastly, you can upload your DNA data file with a genetic database or testing service to delineate your DNA results.
That's insightful. I understand it's also possible to upload our raw genetic data to third-party services. Can you elaborate on this?
Sure, Alex. Uploading your raw data to third-party services gives you the chance to gain more understanding about your ethnicity, traits, and potential genetic health risks. Companies like Living DNA, MyHeritage, and GenomeLink, among others, offer these services.
Wow, that's a lot to process. So let's try to recap. What would you suggest one should do with their DNA data, Jordan?
Well, Alex, results from DNA tests do not seal your fate. It's critical to talk to a geneticist to make sense of the genomic data. Just because certain diseases exist in your family history doesn't mean you will inevitably experience them. Environment, lifestyle, and socioeconomic status are also important factors in disease development. Interpreting DNA data isn't just about understanding your genealogy. It's about exploring potential health risks and taking preventative measures if needed.
That's a sound advice, Jordan. Well, folks, we hope that our chat today has shed some light on the world of DNA and has helped you understand what you can do with your raw DNA data. Dr. Jordan, it's been great having you here. Thanks for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure, Alex. Thanks for letting me share this information with our listeners.
As we conclude another enlightening episode of Know Your DNA's podcast, I hope you're leaving with a renewed sense of wonder about the world within us. From the strands of our DNA to the choices we make for our health at home, it's all a journey of understanding. I'm Alex, thanking you for being with us today. Stay informed, stay inspired, and we'll connect again soon.